Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm super excited to launch this channel. I've been doing video games and content for myself quite a long time, so I figured now's the best time to put myself out there and start creating some content for the world to hopefully enjoy as much as I do. So with that being said, the very first thing we're going to do on this channel, we're going to do just a small series. So we're just going to kind of get our feet wet. Just a quick background, I'm a pretty big avid sports gamer. I also dabble in some variety gaming as well. I mostly tend to stick with sports overall, with MLB 22 The Show being kind of my primary go-to. I am big into Diamond Dynasty, but as far as the content goes, I would really like to kind of provide some content in the world of franchise, March to October, Road to the Show, and then this series that I'm actually going to bring to y'all today. So with that being said, I'll jump right into it. I'll tell you what I have on my mind and what we're going to get into. It's going to be a really small series, possibly 3, maybe 4 episodes, depending on how things go. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a replay of the College World Series from the men's baseball division. So in the description, you'll be able to see some shout outs and some people that I got some rosters from, some stadiums and some logos and stuff like that. But essentially what we've done is we have everything set up. I'm using franchise mode to make this happen. Accurate rosters for both the Ole Miss Rebels and the Oklahoma Sooners. So for those of you that don't know, Ole Miss did defeat Oklahoma 2 of the 3-game series. They swept them essentially. And it was kind of a big deal because Ole Miss was one of the lower ranked seeds coming into the College World Series tournament, and so they basically got hot at the right time, fought their way through, and then beat Oklahoma, which was an absolutely stacked roster. Today, what we're basically going to do is we're just going to go through some of the team rosters, give a little bit of background on some of the players. Right now is a super good time to launch this series because the MLB draft just happened, right? So a lot of the players on both of these teams were actually drafted, with a couple going really early in the draft. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see kind of how these guys translate into the game. The person who did the rosters did a really good job. I've already got the lineup set. I've already got the pitching rotations all set up, but everything's good to go. I'm basically at a point in the season where I had the 2 teams facing off in a series, and I got the rotation set up to where the best guys are going to go for all 3 games. So yeah, I'm really excited to launch this series. I really hope you guys like it. Put a lot of time and effort in the background to get this set up, and it's just going to be cool to see how it plays out. And so we're definitely going to play as Ole Miss as the user, and the reason we do, they're just a little bit lower rated on the talent wise. We are going to play the 3-game series on all legend difficulties. That's pitching, hitting, and then we'll go through a couple of other settings once we get into the game, but pretty generic. Not going to use pinpoint pitching, going to use more of a pulse pitching, or not pulse, but analog pitching than your typical zone hitting. But yeah, I'm super excited. So with that being said, let's dive straight into what some of the rosters look like. So if we go into here, so what I did was basically user controlling both Ole Miss and Oklahoma. They're my 2 main teams. We're going to go to Ole Miss. We'll start with them, and let me get a couple of my notes out here. And we'll start off with their pitching rotation. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through and talk about the guys who just got drafted in the draft this year, what round they were taken, and then where they landed. And so obviously you can see the guys already have some stats, so you'll basically just have to ignore that. Just to give a quick recap of how we did this was I just booted up the franchise and went to the first series that I have against Oklahoma, and that's how we got to where we were. Did a test run to figure out where that laid in the pitching rotation for each team. So the aces are going game 1 and so on and so forth. So yeah, back to the pitching rotation. So the first notable guy that we need to mention here is going to be Derek Diamond, and he was recently drafted by the Pirates in round 6 of the draft. So unfortunately, Ole Miss didn't have anybody go higher than round 6. Not going to be the same story on the Oklahoma side of things. With the 3-game series, it's slated for Hunter Elliott, Dylan DeLucia, and Jack Washburn to be the 3 starters. So to get a look at Derek Diamond, knowing that we're only playing 3, we're going to treat it like a World Series, and we may get him some playing time. Next notable guy is going to be Dylan DeLucia. He was drafted in the 6th round as well. He went to the Cleveland Guardians, which I believe this is actually the team we replaced in the franchise was Cleveland with Ole Miss, so that's kind of funny. Brandon Johnson, he was also drafted in round 9, went to the Royals. So, and then another guy that we want to take a look at, I think that's all from the pitching side. Obviously, Hunter Elliott's going to be the big guy on the roster. He's going to be our game 1 starter. Not a lot of speed, but just got a ton of movement and all kind of stuff like that. So, pretty excited to see what he's made of. Piece of this lineup that I think is actually going to be Justin Bench. He didn't go till round 17, being a college bat and stuff like that. So he was drafted by the Giants as a shortstop. We have him at third base here, just because that's what he played in the World Series. So what I did was I did pull up some of the box scores and I mimicked the lineups almost verbatim. So it pretty much ties into exactly what lineups each team rolled out. And then the only other guy to mention here is going to be Tim Elko. So he was drafted in round 14, or I'm sorry, round 10 by the White Sox. Really, really good power from the people who made the roster. So going to be fun. Hopefully we'll have some high scoring games. The guys definitely put their ratings in here based on how they were in college compared to all the other college players, as just a note. Because the roster that I did download was 30 complete teams, College World Series rosters for basically all the teams that made the College World Series. So it's a pretty cool roster, and once again, be sure to check the description to be able to find that roster in the vault. If you have the time, it would really be cool to actually go and run a full season and replace every team with the roster. And maybe that's something we do one day. But for now, we're just going to test them out, do the best of 3 College World Series final, and see what we get. So yeah, so that's pretty much the highlights from the Ole Miss roster. That's all the guys that were recently drafted in the draft just a week or so ago. That being said, we will get over to the Oklahoma roster, which actually has quite a bit of people that were drafted. 11 total people from Oklahoma were drafted in the MLB draft this year. And the most notable standout is going to be Cade Horton. And he went round 1, pick 7 to the Cubs. So he's slated right now to be the game 2 starter. Probably would have been the game 1 if you were making a real life rotation. But like I said, based on the box score, Jake Bennett did pitch first, which both a 99, so you can't really argue too much there. And it leads us to Jake Bennett was also drafted in the 2nd round by the Nationals. So 2 really, really, really good pitchers. So it's not going to be easy on us playing as Ole Miss, knowing that we got to beat one of these guys to take it to a game 3. Let's see. You have Chaz Martinez here. He was drafted in round 17 by the Royals. I know you have David Sandlin was drafted by the Royals as well in round 11. And then their bullpen is just full of people. So Trevin Michael went in round 10 to the Tigers. Javier Ramos went round 18 to the Rockies. Let's just check out Jake Bennett here. So yeah, high velocity left-hander. Between 99 with an 82 curveball, cutter, a palm ball. Going to be really, really, really fun facing these guys. Really good control. And then Cade Horton, another hard throwing righty. And then if we run to the Oklahoma lineup, we'll talk about some of their standouts here. The biggest one is going to be Peyton Graham, as reflected by his 99 rating that they gave him. He was drafted in the 4th round in the 2nd round by the Tigers. So maybe they have a really good future shortstop on the hands for them. Then you have Jimmy Crooks, who's obviously the next notable standout. He was drafted in the 4th round by the Cardinals. So with that being said, we've pretty much went through the rotations. We know that it's going to be Hunter Elliott versus Blake Bennett, game 1. Or Jake Bennett, I'm sorry. So Jake Bennett, hard throwing lefty, against Hunter Elliott, which is more of a lower velocity but more of a pitch mix type of guy. So with the ability to really keep the ball in the ballpark. Pretty excited, guys, not gonna lie. I'm ready to get into some gameplay. Did just want to do a quick introduction, just wanted to kind of kick things off, show you the teams and what they look like. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get this thing kicked off real soon. The next episode's gonna be uploaded shortly after this one, just so we can kind of get straight into the season. Thanks for hanging out, thanks for tuning in. Hope you come back and check out some of the gameplay. And then just give me some thoughts and comments on what you think about this series. I know college baseball isn't the biggest sport in the world, but thought it'd be a nice change of pace to some of the content that's offered out there in the world today. Just kind of utilizing some of the team creation and stuff like that. And we'll probably get into it next episode, but the stadiums and the uniforms and stuff like that, you can kind of see some of the pieces and stuff up there. But I feel like we did a really good job of replicating what the teams look like in real life. I found a really good stadium in the vault for TD Ameritrade, which is where the World Series is hosted in Omaha. Yeah, with that being said, guys, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, and hope to see you again for episode 2, where we dive in and see what these guys are made of, and see if we can actually replay and take these Ole Miss Rebels to the glory land and defeat the highly touted Oklahoma Sooners and highly favorited Oklahoma Sooners.